what SWIFTtrip is all about. Be excited that you are part of the people that are starting this project at the foundational stage.
This moment marks not just a celebration of our collective success, but a heartfelt appreciation for the incredible journey we have started since 2021.
This guy hugged me, anointing left me. He hugged the man of God and shouted, Jesus.
It will take SWIFTtrip 6 months to accomplish over 180 million use. What am I saying? What took Uber 10 years will accomplish in 6 months.
She said, give me a detail, man. I'm going to start you. Make it on me. Referral bonus. No! Nice app, nice initiative. My boss, honorable. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's a beautiful one. SWIFTtrip! We bounce! We bounce!
SWIFTtrip is real. You can just explain to them. These are services that will change how people travel, how people purchase things, how people communicate. And we are coming to redefine how all of these services are done. They are not new. They are not new. We are modifying it. Okay? Now, let's move further. One of the questions that we will be asking, maybe you have at heart, that we will answer now, is this question, which is asking, has SWIFTtrip gone live? Has SWIFTtrip gone live? I believe that's one of the questions you will be asking. Knowing the services we are rendering. Has SWIFTtrip gone live? Now, let's look at it. No, SWIFTtrip is currently at its development phase. SWIFTtrip is currently at its vision phase and calls for subscribers to facilitate business development. Sir, the question I want to ask you is this, do you see this as an opportunity? And the answer to that is yes. It is an opportunity. It is still an opportunity for you to grab. Why? Because we haven't launched business. We haven't launched business. Because by the time we've launched this business, I want to tell you, sir, man, look at the opportunity will no longer be available. So many persons are scared of being part of a business that is still at the vision phase. That's because they are myopic. They are myopic. See, let me tell you, once a business is no longer at the vision stage, then the opportunity is gone, no matter what they promise you. You can't compare to those people that were part of the business when it was at the vision stage. Stop being myopic. Stop being myopic. Don't miss this business. Like I said, by the time we've launched this business, then the opportunity is gone. And I also want you to note that this business is for everybody that can see what we are showing to them. Because in SWIFTtrip, go do your findings. We don't force people to be part of us. We need like minds. People that once we say, okay, this is it, they'll say, yes, sir, let's go. People that can identify the business and then decide to be part of it. Lionic minds. Lionic minds. Let's come together. Are you a banker? Are you a teacher? Are you a business class or a working class? I don't know, whatever area you are. Are you a student? So long you can see what we are showing to you, it is for you. It is simply for everybody that can see. People that are already planning on how their retirement age will look like. People that are planning to be comfortable at that retirement age, that they don't need to pressurize anybody to help them. Rather, they want to be the one helping people even at that retirement age. Oh my God. If you are that kind of person, this business is for you. Because if you ask yourself, if you tell yourself the truth, you're working in a bank today, you're working in a company today, a time will come, you will no longer have the opportunity to work with those companies. By the time you've gotten to that age, they'll say, sir, man, no matter how well you've been, they'll say, your services is no longer needed. We want to recruit people that are strong, people that can do the job better. And do you also know that your certificate you use in acquiring those jobs, you cannot pass it on to your children? To say, oh, I love this company, my family will work here. Sir, man, that certificate cannot work for your children. And you want to do connection. A time will come, that person you know might even no longer be alive. So don't miss with it. Prepare for that retirement, which is very important. Come, let us feel the pain now. Let us feel the pain now so that we can play later. Let us feel the pain now and pay later. Let us set our family, our lineage up for the success that lies ahead. Quickly want to look at subscription plans in SWIFTtrip. What are the subscription plans? What is the subscription plan in SWIFTtrip? And it's very simple. We have what we call node slot, subscribers subscription plan, profit share slot, which we call the node slot. I would say profit share subscription is what? $100. Yes, $100. Campaign sponsorship fund is what? $80. Then $80 plus $100 is how many dollars? A total of $180, which is the subscription fee. Now, if you look at the separation, $100 is simply the actual project fee, and $80 is a fee for campaign. I will explain that later on as we proceed. Now, the actual price for SWIFTtrip slot, the node slot, is $180. And once you pay your $180, what are you getting in exchange? You're getting 0.0 in 5 places, 125%. 0.0 in 5 places, 125%. That's what you're getting in exchange. And you're simply earning, or you will simply be earning according to this volume of ownership, according to this your share percentage. From every transaction that happens, from every transaction that happens in every of our services that we'll be rendering. That's why we'll say you shouldn't joke with any business that has to do with earning in percentage. Don't joke with SWIFTtrip. Then another question that is very important, very paramount, that you might be asking as a first timer is, when will SWIFTtrip go live? When is the set time for the launch of this business? When are we going to launch this business? Then it's still on the screen. Let's look at it. We'll say, SWIFTtrip profit share is 5% in volume, and business launch is at the sales of 3% share volume. Thus, the launch of SWIFTtrip is embedded in the milestone of 2.4 million subscribers. It's as simple as that. And somebody will say, I don't understand. You just read what is on the screen. I will help you break it down. Now, the company is selling 5% of our shares. And from this 5% of the shares that the company is selling, the company says, if we've sold at least 3% from this 5%, we will launch this business. And this 3% we are talking about, how many persons will consume this 3%? That is where you're seeing the 2.4 million subscribers. We understand that people are the ones that make a business thrive. That is why we are going out there to look for the people. Because in SWIFTtrip, you cannot own more than 1 unit. The next slide says that. It shows us that. 1 person to 1 unit. These 2.4 million persons, we are not looking at people having multiple accounts. Maybe myself having like 5 accounts, 3 accounts, 10 accounts. No. It is my 1 account that I have. It is another, the other person has his own 1 account. Everybody with their own account. You cannot own more than 1 account. That is why we are looking at the 2.4 million individuals. That is the 3% we are talking about. Now, how did we get this 2.4 million? Excuse me. We simply do 3 divided by your ownership percentage. Remember, I told you that once you come into this business with your $180, the company gives you 0.0 in 5 places 125%. That is what you're getting in exchange of your $180. So that is your unit. Now, if we divide 3%, if we divide 3 by your ownership percentage, which is 0.0 in 5 places 125, if you do that, you will get 2,400,000 node unit. Now, what does that tell you? It tells you that if we bring 0.0 in 5 places, if we put that figure in 2.4 million places, it will give us 3. It will give us 3. 0.0 in 5 places 1, 0.0 in 5 places 2, 0.0 in 5 places 3, 0.0 in 5 places, just like that. Just like that, up to 2.4 million places. You will get 3. 1 subscriber to 1 unit. I believe that is understood. So if you are here and someone is asking when are they going to launch business, you tell them at the sales of 3% or at the reach of 2.4 million subscribers. How many subscribers do we have now? We have 11,223. I think the last time I checked. 11,223 subscribers. You tell them at the reach of 2.4 million subscribers. That is the milestone that has been set. And it's very visible. It is very clear. Everybody sees it. Everybody sees it. If you go to your app, look at it, you will see the current number of units sold. And if you look at the right-hand side, you will see nodes to be activated. 2.4 million. And the other, you see 11,223 or 24 as the case may be. That is to tell you that we are very transparent. We are showing it to you so that tomorrow you will not go misquote what we said. Okay? So, let's move further. You can see that you are part of a global business. You're coming to own a business that will be launched in Nigeria and in the United Kingdom. In Nigeria and in the United Kingdom. Come together, sir, man. Let us collaborate and achieve this thing. Let us collaborate and achieve this massive business. Like I said, if this will be the last suffer, we will suffer. Sir, man, let us suffer it together and achieve it. And achieve it. So these are the very first 2 countries of launch. Before we start launching business in other parts of the world. Before we start launching business in other parts of the world. Now, these are certificates. These are certificate of incorporation. We have the CAC, which is the certificate of incorporation. We have, what is it called? I said we have the CAC, which is Corporate Affairs Commission, sorry. We have the EFCC in Nigeria, and we also have the certificate of incorporation in the United Kingdom. You can see my screen, and if it's too small for you to see, just click on that place you're seeing it, and it will be large or bold enough for you to see. So these are certificates. You can also go do your findings, okay? Now, what makes SWIFTtrip stand out? this is very unique. This is very awesome. Just pay attention. Because you are here and you might be saying, okay, since SWIFTtrip is rendering the same services that other companies are rendering, because the services we are rendering are not new. And you're asking yourself, how won't these people just go and launch this business and then start struggling to get patronage? Sir, man, we are so much aware of that. We know of that fully well. That's why we came prepared. We came ready. First of all, we are building our customer base of 2.4 million subscribers. What does that mean? It simply means by the time we launch business, we have already 2 million persons that are ready to patronize the company. If we are assuming that the 400,000 persons are children, then the 2.4 million we're talking about are people that are ready to patronize the company. People that are ready to patronize the company. So that is one. And we also have another thing that makes us stand out from every other company that are rendering the same services that we are rendering. And what is that? We are introducing the PYC. The PYC, which we are the first company in the world to come up with this. The PYC, we stand for Pay Your Customers. It stands for what? Pay your customers. Have you heard of it before? Be sincere. If you're not a shareholder of SWIFTtrip, have you ever heard of PYC before? What I can tell you you have heard of is the KYC. Know your customer. But SWIFTtrip is saying that that is not enough. Knowing that the customers are very important, and without these customers, there will be no business. So we decide to make sure that whenever a customer patronizes the company, they earn from that patronage. That is why I said you haven't heard it before. Now, this thing they are earning are not bonuses. They are earning cool cash that can be withdrawn anytime, any day, anywhere. Pay your customers. The customers are very important too. Without the customers, sir, that business you're doing will not yield anything. The customers are the one making you feel like you have money. Because as they are patronizing you, you're making your money. You're making profit. They are enriching you. So we have to give back to them to say thank you. Telling them thank you with a word of mouth is not okay. Pay them. Pay them that whenever they patronize you, they earn. And listen as well, in case you're here, this is an advice. If you have a company, I just want to let you know that any company that refuses to pay their customer, they will lose those customers to companies that are paying their customers. That's very true. That is very true. And quickly, we want to look at how this PYC will work. And where we are now is how customers benefit from this business. How customers who are not shareholders, that's what we want to quickly look at. How are they going to benefit from this business? Now, let's look at this. We want to do an analysis here. We want to assume that transaction happens. And this transaction that happened took place in Nigeria, for instance. Knowing that trip will be very flexible, knowing that trip, the prices of trip will be very, 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 very flexible because of the distance covered. Not all trip will cost the same thing, right? That's very true. Now, let's assume this trip now, this particular trip cost 8,000 naira. Which the company considered as 100%. The company considered it as what? 100%. Now, this 100%, let's look at how this money will be shared to every person. Let's look at how the PYC will pay. Now, look at this. That 8,000 that was paid, 2% goes back to the profit generator, who is the passenger that booked that ride. 2% goes back to the profit generator, because our passengers and our customers will call them what? Profit generators. 2% goes back to the... That is the PYC we are talking about. Pay your customer. This money that goes to the passenger is the money that can be withdrawn. It's not bonus. It's not bonus. It's a thank you for booking this ride. Take this incentive. Take this little token. And if you do 2% of 8,000, I think you should be getting 116 naira. Little drop of water makes an ocean. I believe we are all familiar with that adage. Now, 2% goes to the profit generator. Let's move ahead. 10%, you can see this gold box. 10% goes to the platform provider. And who is the platform provider? The company is a platform provider. Why? We've provided a platform that will connect a buyer and a seller. We've provided a platform that will connect a passenger and a driver. So that is the platform we are building. That is the platform we are building. This 10% that goes to the company is used for what? It's for global expansion. I tell you, sir, it's for global expansion. Why? Because when we've launched this business, there is no time the CEO or the board of directors will come and say, okay, since we want to launch this business in this country, since we want to launch this business in that country, we should call all shareholders to come and contribute a certain amount of money. No, we won't do that. We won't do that. The 10% that goes to the company, it's used for global expansion. It will be used for the launch of business in various countries. Then, if you look at my right-hand side, you will see 5%. All the shareholders of SWIFTtrip shares this 5%. Remember, you're earning according to your percentage, 0.0 in 5 places, 125%. Now, we are launching this business at the sales of how many percent? 3%. So, people say, okay, we have 2% extra there. You also know that by the time we launch this business, the sales will still be on. And then it's only the CEO that will be doing I think he made mention of it. By the time we launch the business now, that is when the price must have gone to 200 million and above. Do you know the people who will come in then? The people that have the money. So the other 2% that is left is for those big fishes out there. They will have to share it. Only the same percentage that you own. So, the shareholders of SWIFTtrip, because by the time they also come in by that time, they are also shareholders of SWIFTtrip. So, the shareholders of SWIFTtrip will consume 5%. Now, 5% plus 10% is how many percent? 15% plus 2% that goes to the passenger who booked that ride. That is how many percent? 17%. Then let's move further. You see what we call the service provider. Who is the service provider? The driver. And now the driver gets the lion's share of the percentage, which is 80%. The driver is doing majority of the work. While you are sleeping, sir, this driver is on the road trying to render service to a passenger. While you're sleeping, this driver will also have to buy fuel while you're sleeping, doing nothing. This driver will also have to maintain his car. You can see some of the reasons why the driver is getting the lion's share of the percentage. 80% goes to the service provider. Now, 80% plus 10%, that is 90%, plus 5%, that is 95%, plus 2%, that is 97%. Now, let's see where the remaining percentages went to, or go to, whichever. Now, look at this. We have customers, passengers referral, and customers, driver referral. The first generation of both the passenger and the driver, they earn. The first generation of the passenger earns 1%. Now, this person could be wherever. A transaction happened, he or she might not even know. But That is why we say, see, in SWIFTtrip, you will be earning your money even as you're sleeping. Why? Because you own a system. That is the power of owning a system. That is the power of owning a system. Because this system you're owning is something that will pay you even when you are sleeping. It will pay you repeatedly, consistently, without your effort, efficiently and effectively. This person that introduced the person that booked that right now just earned 1% without even knowing what happened. The second generation earned 0.3%. Third and fourth generation earned 0.1% respectively. 1 plus 0.3 plus 0.1 plus another 0.1. It's a total of 1.5% from the customer's passenger referral chain, and the same thing goes to the driver's referral chain. 1% to the first generation, 0.3 to the second generation, 0.1 to the third, and 0.1 to the fourth generation. Add it up is a total of 1.5%. Now, 1.5% from the customer's driver referral plus 1.5% from the customer's passenger's referral is a total of how many percent? 3%. 3% plus 97% is a total of how many percent? This 100% you're seeing, the green one, the green arrow you're seeing, that makes it a total of 100%. So you can see how everybody earns. All right? Is there anybody that is left to earn? No, everybody earns. Don't miss SWIFTtrip. Don't miss SWIFTtrip. This analysis I just showed you now, it's for the e-taxi. Also note that the same thing goes for every of our services, such as the aviation, the e-commerce, the logistics, and the hospitality, and also